The most recent issues of the Darth Vader comic by Charles Soule introduced a hidden Jedi on the planet Mon Cala. He advised King Lee Char in the year after Order 66 until he was discovered by the Empire. He also had a number of followers helping him out, and the more we learn about this guy, the more I think he was kind of a creep. He was an Iktachi named Farron Barr, and first things first, he wasn't even a full-on Jedi, he was just a Padawan, and I mean, beggars can't be choosers at that point, but from what we see of him, I think he lets people believe he's got more authority than he really does. I think Lee Char was putting more faith in his expertise than he should have. What's worse is what we see him do to his followers. Charles Soule brilliantly tells those characters' stories. As Vader and his Inquisitors hunt Barr, his disciples sacrifice themselves one by one to help him escape, and as they die, we get flashbacks of their first time meeting the Padawan. And in most cases, he clearly uses a mind trick to get them to fight. There are some legend sources that say mind tricks work best when you're influencing someone to do what they ultimately want to do anyway, and I like that. But when you're dealing with a life or death situation, that seems really messed up. Sure, these people do want to fight the Empire, but he basically forces them into it without their knowledge. I think this makes Farron a very unique character. I think what he's doing is flat out wrong, and I guess when I normally think of the Jedi that survived Order 66, I always assumed that they were all these noble survivors that were hunted down and fought bravely to the bitter end. But they're actually in a very desperate situation. Barr is so desperate that he's willing to trick innocent people into becoming pawns in his game of survival. He may have even been manipulating Lee Char into allowing him to hide on Mon Cala in exchange for advice. And why wouldn't the king agree to that? The Jedi are supposed to be the people you can trust. But jump forward 20 years and the Star Wars comic shows us that that didn't work out for Lee Char at all. As we learn about Barr, we also see that one of the Inquisitors hunting him is the 10th brother, also known as the fallen Jedi Proset Dibs, who I talked about last week. Dibs fell away from the Jedi in the Mace Windu comic specifically because he felt that the Jedi had completely lost their way, and now he's hunting down a Padawan that I'm sure he would see as proof that he was right. It's a very interesting situation we find ourselves in. An Inquisitor that betrayed the Jedi but held to his beliefs, paired with a Jedi that was loyal to the Order but abandoned everything they stood for. I love this moral gray area the comic is exploring right now. The movies tend to be more black and white, good versus evil, but the more you dig into the universe, the more ethically complicated it gets. And when you see some of the Jedi acting like Farron Barr, it's hard to act like they were always the heroes we make them out to be. I can't praise Charles Soule's writing in this series enough. It's insanely good, and if you've been looking for a reason to get into Star Wars comics, this should be your first stop. I used to recommend Lando as a good introduction, and it still is, but Darth Vader is my favorite Star Wars comic to have ever been produced, canon or Legends. If you've been reading this series, I would love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.